James 1:12. Blessed is the one who perseveres under trial, because having stood the test, that person will receive the crown of life that the Lord has promised to those who loved him. So, what if the blessing isn't found in avoiding the trial, but in enduring it? Most of us pray, God, get me out of this. James is asking us, saying, what if God is doing something while you are in it? So before we can really understand James 1:12, we need to understand who James is talking to. So James was not writing to people living comfortable lives, right? He was writing to Jewish Christians who had been scattered because of persecution. So many of them had lost homes, they had lost security, many were facing pressure because of their faith. So these were people asking, is it worth it? Why is this happening? How much longer can I do this? And James doesn't begin with a promise of immediate escape. He begins with perseverance. James doesn't say, blessed is the one who never struggles. Blessed is the one who never suffers. Blessed is the one whose life is easy. But he says, blessed is the one who perseveres. So in other words, the blessing isn't attached to the comfort. It is attached to the endurance. Perseverance means remaining, staying, continuing, holding your ground. It means I haven't quit. Not I never cried. Not I never doubted. Not I never struggled. Simply I stayed. So notice James doesn't say if trials come. He says under trial. So trials are a part of our Christian experience, not because God hates us and not because God abandoned us, but because growth requires testing. A muscle that is never resisted, it never grows stronger. Faith is similar. So James uses language that would have reminded readers of metal being refined. Gold is tested by fire, not to destroy it, but to reveal what is genuine. The fire doesn't create the gold, the fire reveals it. The trial doesn't create faith, the trial reveals your faith. Just like a single mom, right? She's exhausted, working, providing, praying, holding it together. Nobody sees the daily sacrifice. But James says, blessed is the one who perseveres. They imagine life would look different. A person who has lost. Every day feels heavy. Some days getting out of bed feels like victory. James said, blessed is the one who perseveres. Come on, y'all. What about a person whose prayers haven't been answered? The door hasn't opened, the situation hasn't changed, but they're still trusting God. James says, blessed is the one who perseveres. So we often think blessing means more money, more success, more opportunity, more comfort, but James presents a different picture. The blessed person may still be in the trial, but the blessing is found in remaining faithful through it. Then James says, that person will receive the crown of life. In James' day, a crown wasn't usually a king's crown. It was often a victor's crown. So the crown given to someone who finished the race. And that image is powerful. God is not rewarding perfection. He's honoring perseverance. Not the fastest, not the strongest, but the one who remained faithful. So what if your greatest victory isn't getting out of the trial? What if your greatest victory is becoming the person who remained faithful while walking through it? Many people are frustrated because they are measuring progress by circumstance, but God is often measuring progress by character. So James 1:12 is not a promise for people who never struggle. It is a promise for people who refuse to quit, people who keep praying, keep trusting, keep showing up, keep believing, even when the outcome isn't visible yet. The blessing isn't reserved for those who never face trials. It is reserved for those who remain faithful when trials try to convince them to quit. If you're walking through a difficult season right now, remember, perseverance does not mean pretending you're okay. It means continuing to trust God one day at a time. So I created a resource that helps people process their faith honestly while holding on to God's promise, because enduring is easier when you're not walking through the trial alone. Click the link in bio.